Holy crap. Look at that. That is a ridiculous amount of power. What's going on, guys? Today we are taking a look at the Mokwheel Onyx. And this is not your average fat tire e-bike. This one's designed for riders who want to take this thing off-road, hill climb. It's a bike with long range and ability to go just about in any terrain. Now, what makes the Onyx stand out is the 1300 watt mid-drive motor. A little bit different than hub motors where you would just hit the throttle and go. This mid-drive motor is going to work directly with the gears, which is going to give you better torque, smoother power, and way more efficiency when climbing up steep hills or going through tough terrain. You also got both a torque sensor and a cadence sensor, which means that this bike is going to feel a lot more natural and responsive, almost like an extension of your own legs. Now, the range you're going to be able to get on this is going to be 80 miles on a single charge. And of course, that's going to depend on the terrain and also the assist level that you're using, or also depending if you're going to use it throttle only. Now, the Mokwheel Onyx also has something very unique, and it's that it has the ability to solar charge this bike with the inverter and solar panel setup that you can buy on their website. This is the first of its kind for Mokwheel. You can use the solar setup with a few of their bikes, and it's going to allow you to literally charge your bike anywhere the sun is shining. So it's good for anybody camping, hunting, or if you want to be just off the grid. And we'll go over how that solar setup works later on in the video. Now, as far as payload, the weight capacity on this is going to be 400 pounds. So that will be good not only for heavier riders, but riders that want to carry extra gear, maybe camping gear, fishing gear, hunting gear, anything like that. 400 pounds is a lot of weight that this bike can carry. Now, of course, this bike is going to have all the bells and whistles. And we're talking about hydraulic brakes, full suspension. We even have an air shock in the rear. It's a very comfortable bike. And this thing just looks awesome, especially in that camel color. I'm pretty excited to test this thing off-road and how it does as far as hill climbing. Now, as I mentioned, this does work with the gears. A lot of people, I feel like, get these bikes and don't know exactly how it works with the gears. So they feel a bike that has a mid-drive might be a little bit underpowered or a little bit slow. So we're going to go over how you can use the gears along with the motor and set it up best when you're hill climbing and when you're trying to get top speed out of this. But before we do that, let's take a look at the screen and the controls. That is a really, really nice screen. As you can see, it's like fully integrated. So if you wanted like the screens to stand up more, you can adjust it right here. It's not like a quick release, like you still have to like use the tools to be able to adjust it, but at least there is that option and it's integrated into the frame. So it does look really nice. You got your Tektro hydraulic brakes here. You got your Shimano Q shifter, which is an upgrade. You got the Shimano Q's derailleur with the 10-speed cassette. I mean, this bike is really nice. The only thing I'm seeing that is a little bit cheaper is the Chaoyang tires. It does say hippo skin, so maybe they're like a little bit better quality, but that's really the only thing. I don't see that they skimped out on anything. This is a fully loaded e-bike, and with the full suspension, it should be really, really comfortable to ride. All right, so the first thing I want to do is I'm going to go into the menu here by holding on these two buttons. And we're going to go down to throttle speed. And we're just going to crank that up because a lot of these bikes are kind of limited like to 20 miles an hour on the throttle speed. And then if you want to go any faster, you got to pedal it. So we're just going to bump that up. That way we can use the throttle at the maximum speed that this goes. This thing says 99, I believe. Obviously, it's not going to go 99 miles an hour, but it'll go as fast as it can go on the throttle. Now, this is a 1300 watt peak motor. On the bike here, it's actually stamped 750 watts. So I guess that would help you in case you get pulled over or something. I don't think you would on a bike with pedals. But if you did, you know, 750 watts, you can show them this sticker, 750 watts, 20 miles an hour. And that might keep you legal, but this bike is actually 1300 watts peak motor. And we'll test out, see how fast this bike actually goes. So the way it's going to work is basically like when you're hill climbing, you're going to want it on the lowest gear possible. That's going to help you get up those hills like super easy. And then when you're trying to get top speed, you're going to want it on the higher gears. That's going to make this bike go as fast as it can. All right, so I want to test out the top speed on this. And we're going to try top speed on gear 10 and we're going to try top speed on gear 1 to see what the actual difference is here. All right, so right now we're on gear 10 and we're going to go throttle only. All right, so here we go, throttle only, top speed. All right, we got 24, 25. 26. All right, we got up to 27, which is about 28 miles an hour. I think it definitely has a cutoff, like a limiter. But let's switch it all the way back down to gear 1, and let's try the speed run again. Oh yeah, no, this thing is going extremely slow. This is full throttle, top speed, and it's only going 13 miles an hour. You hear that? See, and that's why it's so important to be in the right gear with the mid-drive motors, because you can get one of these bikes and then have it in the wrong gear and then be really upset that this bike does not perform the way you want it to. So it's just one of those things that has a little bit of a learning curve. It's not too difficult to figure out, but it makes a huge difference. As you can see, 13 miles an hour on gear 1 versus 28 miles an hour on gear 10. I mean, that's a huge difference. And that could definitely throw somebody off when they buy a bike like this, not knowing, especially if you're coming from riding like rear hub motorbikes where you just hit the throttle and it goes. And now the same thing is going to be reversed when it comes to like hill climbs. So for the top speed, you're going to want to be on gear 10, and that's going to give you the top speed. But if you're trying to hill climb and you're on gear 10, you're going to have issues also. So that's when you got to reverse it and then go all the way to gear 1. And then that's going to give you the best hill climbing power. So we're going to go off-road and then we're going to go test that out. Right, and so far we've been riding, it looks like 8 miles. We have full bars of power, full battery still. So doing pretty good on that. And I'm actually going to turn around here so we can go to the off-road areas and then we can test out the hill climbing power. Now, the one thing on these bikes that I read somewhere is that you can kind of trick the system, like to be able to get like a higher top speed. So this bike actually has like the speed sensor in the back wheel. So it's kind of like a little magnet. So every time it turns, it counts like 1 rotation. And that's how it knows like how fast you're going. And I read somewhere that you can go in the system and actually change the diameter of the wheel size. So these are 26-inch wheels. So when you have it at 26-inch in the display, then it's supposed to be like pretty accurate as far as like the speedometer and where the limit will cut you off at. But if you put a smaller diameter of wheel size, then it kind of tricks the system into thinking that you're going slower than what you're actually going. Let me see if I can actually go into the menu here. Right here where it says wheel diameter. I don't know if you guys can see that on screen here. It says 26-inch. We're gonna bump, whoops. We're gonna bump that down as low as it goes is 14-inch. All right, so we'll back out. All right, so we set it to 14-inch wheel diameter, and the display is not going to read correctly because it thinks it's a different tire size. So we're going to use the speedometer on my phone and see how fast we can go. The top speed we got was 28 miles an hour. So again, we'll put it on gear 10 to get the best top speed. And then we'll see what we get. All right. So as you can see, on my phone, it's reading 21 miles an hour. The display is reading 9 miles an hour. Let's try it here. I'm at 24, 25. 27. All right. So 27 miles an hour. So never mind. I guess you can't trick the system. Somebody said lower the diameter on the wheel and then you can trick it into going faster because it was only reading 9 miles an hour on the display, but 27 miles an hour on the actual phone. So you really can't trick it. That would have been nice though. All right, let's put this back to where it's supposed to be. Well, at least we tried. That would have been awesome to be able to do that. That would have been so simple to make this thing go faster. 28 miles an hour is gonna be your top speed on this bike. I'm sure there's a way to unlock it because this bike has a lot of power. It definitely has a speed limiter, but honestly, not everybody's trying to go more than 30 miles an hour. I mean, going 28 miles an hour is already extremely fast, especially if you're getting this bike to be off-roading, hunting, camping, things like that. Like, you don't need to be going that fast. So honestly, 28 miles an hour, that's fast enough. Now, as far as the gearing, that doesn't mean you have to have it like on gear 10 for every little mountain climb. Like, so far, I've gone over a bunch of little hills and I still have it on gear 10 and it goes over the hills just fine. I'm not gonna lie, guys, this is an awesome bike. So much fun and it is so comfortable. This thing just has a ton of power. And that color just looks ridiculously good. All right, so let's keep going. We are getting close to the off-road area here. Now you can tell, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, this bike is really expensive. It's well, almost $3,300, but you could tell that they did not skimp out on anything. I mean, this is a really good quality bike. You know what? We have our first hill climb here, and I'm gonna leave it on 10 and see if we could even make it up with gear 10 here, throttle only. Actually, you know what? Let's go full stop here, and we'll try it on 10, see if it even makes it up. See, we're starting off super slow, and no way, it's not gonna make it. Okay, so there we go. If we're on gear 10 and you're trying to hill climb from a dead stop, it's not going to go anywhere. So let's go all the way down to gear 1 and let's see if we can make it from a dead stop all the way up that hill. I don't know if you guys could tell how steep that is, but it is pretty damn steep. All right, let's try it throttle only. Oh shoot. There it goes. Holy crap. Look at that. Oh my God. Well, let's go with this one. Damn. That is a ridiculous amount of power. And I was on a dead stop and it still made it up. And it was switching gears halfway through. Like, what the heck? I knew it had power, but I didn't realize that it was gonna have that much power. So let's try that again. Like, I'm fully on gear 1 now. We'll see how quickly it makes it up here. Ready, set, go, throttle only. Look at that. I mean, obviously it's not going extremely fast, but it's muscling through. Look. Nice, very nice. See, that's the thing with these the mid-drive motors and the gears, you kind of have to make them work together. You can't just be on gear 10 expecting to get up that hill, or even if you're midway, depending on the hill size. Like, if I was, say, on mid-gear and it's like struggling and you're like, damn it, I just paid $3,300 for this bike, like, that would really piss me off too. Because when you get a bike like this, you want it to perform to its maximum, but that's the thing. Just know that if you're gonna get into a mid-drive motorbike, then just look up the gearing, you know, make sure that you're in the right gear, and that makes a world of difference with these bikes. Let's try this off-road area. Let's check out the suspension. Very nice, very comfortable. All right. Man, these big tires just go over absolutely everything. All right, let's try some more hill climbs. We're gonna go down this one here, come back up. Yeah, especially this like off terrain. The lower gears are definitely gonna help you more. Here we go. Look at that, super easy. Like, okay, so I'm gonna try gear 3 here. So gear 3 is still made it up, and it actually goes a little bit faster. So like gear 1 gives you the most climbing power, but if you have it like on gear 2, gear 3, then you'll go a little bit faster, but a little bit less climbing power. So you kind of have to just gauge it and see like how much power to speed you actually want to get. You don't always have to have it at the maximum. All right, let's go down here in the wash. Now, on more compacted sand, you know, you can go up on the gears. On the softer sand, you can go down on the gears. You just got to make this bike work for you. Like, this is probably worst case scenario. This is as soft as it gets, but I mean, it easily climbs up. That's pretty awesome. What's nice about this bike too is that it kind of makes you think a little bit. Like, you know, you have to ride it like a motorcycle, changing gears and all that, which to me is fun, you know? Instead of just hitting the throttle and going, to be able to, you know, adjust it for more power, for more speed. I mean, that's pretty fun too. All right, we're gonna go down into the wash. This is basically like beach sand. And honestly, I really shouldn't be down here with this bike. But I wanted to show you guys what kind of power this bike has. And it can really go through some tough terrain if you needed to. All right, we're gonna try to go up a hill right here. This is really probably the steepest one. Oh shoot. All right, since we're starting on a super incline, I don't think it'll make it up, but let's try it now. Oh, holy crap. Hold on. Holy shit. Okay. I'm not gonna lie, I'm almost certain this bike will make it up. I just can't control it because it's on such an incline. Let's try that again. Oh, it's going. It's going. Holy crap. Oh my God. It actually made it up there. There's no way. I have not been able to make it with absolutely any bike through there. That is completely insane. This bike is just so much power. Very impressive. Extremely powerful and fun bike. It has all the bells and whistles. It has a powerful motor, mid-drive motor, full suspension, super comfortable bike. It's fast. It climbs hills like none other. This thing is ridiculous when it comes to hill climbing. Perfect for using it off-road. If you need a bike where you're gonna be using it off-road a lot, camping, hunting, maybe you live out on some land and you're gonna be going over some tough terrain, this is a perfect bike for something like that. Like I said before, you don't always need crazy top speed. 28 miles an hour, that's fast enough. Sometimes having the power is a lot better than having the top speed, because who's really gonna be going or 40, 50, 60 miles an hour like all the time? Yeah, it's fun, but not everybody uses their bikes that way. But if you guys are interested in the Mokwheel Onyx, check out the link below. If there's any discount code, I'll leave it down there below. But leave a comment and let me know what you guys think about this bike. And if you're coming from a rear hub motorbike, would you consider getting something like a mid-drive? All right, guys, that was it for today's video. Thank you guys for watching. And if you guys want more information on the solar power setup, stick around. I'll go over how that whole setup works. But thank you guys for watching. Catch you guys next time. Peace out. So the solar setup is going to be good if you're out camping, hunting. You can power lights, fill up an air mattress, power an electric stove. You can charge up any phones, laptops. There's so many things that you can power using this setup. And of course, you can charge the bike battery using the inverter and solar panels. It's also very easy to connect. There's a port on the inverter, a port on the e-bike right here. You can connect them together with the included cable. Then you're going to connect the solar panels right here in the front of the inverter. And that's pretty much it. Just leave the panels out in the sun and the power of the sun will charge up your e-bike without needing to be connected to the grid. And if you're wondering, yes, you can leave your bike behind. Just take the inverter, the solar panels, and the bike battery for your own 1000-watt power station that you can take pretty much anywhere. Now, how awesome is that? Alright guys, that was it for today. Leave any questions down below and I'll do my best to answer them. Thanks for stopping by and we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.